MI5 lied to courts to protect violent neo-Nazi spy. MI5 lied to 3 courts while defending its handling of a misogynistic neo-Nazi state agent who attacked his girlfriend with a machete, the BBC can reveal. Arguing for secrecy, the security service told judges it had stuck to its policy of not confirming or denying informants' identities. In fact, MI5 had disclosed the man's status in phone calls to me as it tried to persuade me not to investigate the man, known publicly only as Agent X. The service aggressively maintained its position until I produced evidence proving it was untrue, including a recording of one of the calls. The BBC can reveal, MI5 first lied in a court case where the government attempted to block the BBC from reporting on Agent X's wrongdoing and succeeded in banning us from naming the foreign national asterisk. The security service then repeated the lie to a specialist court where the woman attacked with a machete, known by the alias Beth, is seeking answers about MI5's handling of its Agent Asterisk. It repeated the lie again to a judicial review, where Beth was challenging the specialist court's decision. Asterisk, a senior officer, said he was legally authorized to tell me X was an agent, so MI5 had not stuck to its policy of not confirming or denying agents' identities. Asterisk, the Director General of MI5 phoned the BBC's Director General to cast doubt on the corporation's original story about Agent X, wrongly calling it inaccurate. In an unprecedented admission, MI5 has now issued an unreserved apology to the BBC and all 3 courts, describing what happened as a serious error and saying MI5 takes full responsibility. There will now be pressure on MI5 Director General Sir Ken McCallum to explain what he knew, given that the officer said he had been legally authorized to disclose X's role. It also raises concerns about the reliability of MI5's evidence in the courts and the sustainability of one of its core secrecy policies. For agents to keep protecting us, we must protect them and their identities from all those who would do them harm, said Sir Ken, in a statement released after this article was first published. The use of agents is difficult, human work that is governed by legislation and tightly overseen, he added. Beth's case will now head back to the specialist court, which is investigating if the security service breached her human rights by failing to protect her from X's abusive and coercive behavior. It will reconsider whether it was right to rule that the evidence should be heard in closed sessions, which she would not be able to attend. Beth's lawyer, Kate Ellis from the Center for Women's Justice, told the BBC, I think this raises real concerns about MI5's transparency, about whether we can trust MI5's evidence to courts. MI5's lie can be revealed after the BBC applied to the High Court to report false evidence in a corporate witness statement by a deputy director in the security service, known as Witness A. His statement said the service had maintained its long-standing approach to neither confirm nor deny the identity of agents, a policy known by the initials NCND, and gave a false account of the MI5 officer's calls with me. During a short hearing granting permission on Wednesday at the Royal Courts of Justice in London, Ms. Justice Chamberlain said the relevant MI5 evidence had been false. Home Secretary Yvette Cooper has appointed Sir Jonathan Jones KC, former head of the Government Legal Service, as an independent external reviewer to investigate how MI5 came to provide false evidence to the courts. He has also been asked to recommend any changes needed to ensure that courts are provided with accurate information in future by the security service. After we reported in 2022 how X terrorized his partner Ans Cooper, then Shadow Home Secretary, had called for an independent assessment of the case, looking at the way concerns about the appalling and dangerous crime of domestic abuse were handled by MI5. MI5 says it is conducting an internal investigation into the false evidence which may result in disciplinary action. Following Wednesday's hearing, we can now report that Sir Ken McCallum called the BBC's Director General Tim Davie in late 2021 to cast doubt on the BBC's original planned story about Agent X. Sir Ken's own notes of the calls, part of government High Court evidence from 2022, recorded him claiming my intended story was inaccurate as well as reckless. The BBC stood by the reporting, and after the government took us to court, a judge found I had taken proper steps to assess whether the story's various elements were true, and that it was comfortably shown to have a credible evidential foundation. Sir James Eddy KC, representing the government at court on Wednesday, said the internal MI5 disciplinary process indicates the seriousness with which this is being taken. He said the court will be updated in April.